Hello and welcome to another Modern stream. We continue playing the decks from MTG Las Vegas, and right now it's time for 4-color Yawgmoth Control. This is a deck that has started to show up like 2 or 3 weeks ago and has put up very consistent results. It's I would say like sort of like another evolution of the blue-white control decks that we have seen for the past couple of months. It is a little bit more aimed towards fighting the board as opposed to fighting on the stack. So instead of having instant speed cards like Archmage's Charm and stuff like that, we have actually tap out sorcery speed threats like Yawgmoth, Locus of Creation, like Supreme Verdict, like Fury, and even the card advantage in the form of expressive iteration as opposed to something like Archmage's Charm. So iteration obviously much more mana efficient. Same thing with Ren, very mana efficient card advantage engines that are very unreasonably cheap. We do have a little bit of an interactive suite, of course. We have 4 copies of Counter Spell, as well as 2 copies of Force of Negation, and then the rest of the deck is just good cards. So Teferi Time Raveler and Jace the Mind Sculptor include our Planeswalker suite, of course, alongside Red and 6. Yawgmoth as just everything. Like Yawgmoth just does everything. It gains life, it kills your opponent's planeswalkers, it nets mana. Yawgmoth just does everything. And then of course Solitude and Fury in order to interact with our opponent. We're also playing only elementals, so we get to play Kahira the Orphan Guard as an extra card that we get to put into our hand to pitch to Solitude and stuff like that. And Prismatic Ending turned out to be probably one of the most impactful cards in all of Modern Horizons 2. So Prismatic Ending, really good. really good card. Not surprising really. Like when I saw the card, I'm like, this is gonna be a Modern staple, and it turns out that it was. Yeah, so mana base is, in my time playing this deck, the mana base has felt like the shakiest part of the deck. I think that maybe you want to be, if you're going to be playing the Lonely Sandbar, you probably need to be playing one more land, be it a fetch land or a shock land. So going up to 25, but one of those lands being a Lonely Sandbar, I think would be very nice. But we're going to see how things work out again. I'm just using the deck lists that did well in the event. I'm not making any changes before I play the deck. So the cyber includes a couple of copies of Alpine Moon against the Sagas and the Trons, Purge against Lurrus, Shadow, etc., Sons of Revelry against Burn and whatnot, Dispute and Force of Negation against Control, Combo, and stuff like that, Endurance, one of my favorite cards printed in the past year. This card is absolutely fantastic, and it does so many things. It's Graveyard Hate, it's Mill Hate, it just does it all. Force of Vigor against the Hammers of the World, and Chalice of the Void, because if you haven't noticed, we actually have no interaction for 1 mana. So in the matchups where Chalice on 1 is pretty good, we can bring it in, and also we can bring it in matchups where Chalice for 0 is very good, of course, any Cascade decks and stuff like that. So this is the deck we're going to be playing right now. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you for round number 1. Alright, first round of the league, and we see a duel for the ages, Lurrus versus Kahira. Regardless of which Lurrus deck my opponent's playing, I think Ren is going to be very good, so I guess hopefully it's, I don't even know what I want it to be, I guess. Okay, so that's a bunch of stuff that happened. We are 100% killing that Mem Knight. So we want to get Sacred Foundry here, I think. We're definitely killing that Mem Knight, and the reason for that is that if my opponent has a Pure Steel Paladin, now they don't have Metalcraft. Was huge into Modern and completely foiled out my deck, but then Mox Opal got banned and my Affinity deck was useless. Wow! Main deck Grand Abolisher? Jeez. Okay, so I guess the plan now is to Teferi and Plus. Yeah, so you're talking with somebody who was a Splinter Twin player, who always was an Amulet player. So Summer Bloom was banned, and I was also a pod player. So also I did have a complete playset of Mox Opals as well. So yes, the bans have hit me. I've been hit by the bans. How many ticks is this deck? I don't know. You can check that out in the deck listing. Opponent goes after Ren. I guess it makes sense. So now we get to minus. Solitude is big game. Minus there. I think we plus for a land and say go. And we're going to counterspell the Grand Abolisher on the way down. One thing that wasn't full in my deck was the full art Meme Knights, but they were signed from Arcade Post. Nice. That's some good stuff. So you were committed. Opponent says ... Free win. Iteration time. So Solitude for Solitude. Solitude, pitch this guy. Get rid of that. Plus on a land. Plus on this. Play my land. And I guess I want to spend this turn to play Kahira in hand. To put Kahira in hand, I mean. Infinity was my life, but then COVID and then the ban. I was super salty, but they didn't want to admit they were mistakes and just banned the problem, Ursa. I mean, imagine if Mox Opal were legal right now, right? I think that Mox Opal was something that was eventually going to need to be banned. So even though I do think that at the time the Mox Opal banning was kind of surprising. Like I didn't agree with the Mox Opal ban, to be honest, at the time. But knowing how things developed, yeah, exactly. MH2 was in development at that point, so they knew that Ursa Saga was coming. They knew that Hammer was. I mean, Hammer was already a deck, right? But it was just very, very not popular, I guess. I think Chalices on the draw are gonna be a little bit awkward, so I'm just gonna chill on that. I'm gonna be bringing them on the play in place of the fairies, but I don't think I want them on the draw. Also, counterspell is medium. Maybe I should. I really don't love the counterspell. Maybe I need the forces instead of the couple of counterspells. Endurance is also interesting, but I don't think it's good enough. If my opponent were playing Bobs, I would definitely bring in Celestial Purge, but my opponent went Plains, so I think Chalice is good versus Hammer, but it's not that good, you know. Not too upset about the banning all the cards I bought before they skyrocket, so I didn't lose money. I just lost the deck pretty much. I'm thinking of making green-white Enchantress. Yeah, actually, Enchantress, I don't know if you follow my content at all, but we actually talked about Enchantress in my podcast this past week because it actually did pretty well in an event this past week, which is cool. So that's gone. Spellskite. All right. So I'm gonna take this turn to do this. Temple Garden. Not super high on right here. Cranial Plating. Okay. So we're only taking 4 here, so it's not that big of a deal, really. And my opponent's board is not particularly impressive. I think I'm just bouncing the cranial plating here. Maybe they will redirect to the Spell's Guide, but that's kind of whatever. Like, I don't really care. I just need to use my mana. So I'm just bouncing the cranial plating because it's the one that it takes up most of their mana in order to get going again. You're new, so oh yeah, that's perfectly fine, of course. But well, welcome to Modern again, then. Or I guess I should say welcome back to Modern. They should definitely just redirect. I don't know why they wouldn't do that, but whatever. Sanctifier and Vic. Cranial plating. So if we draw a land, we're kind of leaving the dream here. Is the fairy gonna gain me 4? Nope. Land. So we're gonna cycle here. Ren plus, and I'm just gonna end up playing this because we need to hit a land drop here, unfortunately. Oh, you play EDH? Nice. So this doesn't kill me. We go down to 1. And as you may or may not know, 1 is not 0. I guess we go down to 2, even better. I wonder if my opponent is going to go after my creatures, my planeswalkers. So that goes face, and I think this is going to kill the fairy. Yeah. All right, that's a smart move on my opponent's side there. So now we're going to tap white. We're going to Wrath plus and Seiko. We'd love to draw a fetch land. Even if we don't, it's not that big of a deal. Sigarda's Aid is mildly scary. So let's actually start with Iteration. Flooded Strand is fantastic. So hand, bottom, exile. Play Strand. 1, 2, 3. It's actually kind of interesting to Prismatic Ending the Springleaf Drum here. Because if my opponent, like the card that I'm the most, I guess that I can just Sanctifier this thing. So never mind. This is just whatever. No, actually, yeah, actually it does matter. Because next turn I can Omnath plus fetch. I don't care about this. So I guess my opponent's just going to get back Spellskite, I assume. And then we get Fury plus Fury. It's just ending the 8th. Like, it feels like we have complete control over this game. So I'm just trying to, you know, close my opponent's very unlikely potential avenues to victory. So here they can play either Spellskite or Sanctifier. Neither of those really matter. And then Omnath is gonna close the deal. So blue, red, green, white. Play this thing. Play that. We can make the cool play from back in the day. This is Awesome. Check this out. Check this out. So we're gonna Fury, and I'm gonna deal 3 damage to the Lurrus and 1 to the Spellskite. Because we are splitting the damage like that, my opponent cannot redirect the 3 damage to the Spellskite because the Spellskite is already a target. So my opponent's gonna pay the life, and this is not gonna do anything. Yep. This is something that was pretty common back in the days of Electrolyze being a played card in Modern. I know, I'm dating myself here. I'm really dating myself here, but back when Electrolyze plus in Splinter Twin saw a lot of play, you could Electrolyze, ping, Spellskite, and like whatever else you wanted, and your opponent couldn't redirect. And then you could also just use Electrolyze 1 and 1 and Lightning Bolt. So it was very common to like Electrolyze 1 and 1 to face, and then Lightning Bolt the Spellskite. Yeah. I remember. I played my fair share of Electrolyzes. I did play my fair share of Electrolyzes. To be honest, it was quite a fun card. It was quite a fun card, Electrolyze. Kind of sad to not see it anymore. Played blue, white, red Kiki control a while back too, so I know Electrolyze, yeah. Definitely dating ourselves a little bit here. So we're gonna ultimate this Ren, mostly because we can. Then we're going to play a lot. This is garbage time, by the way, in case you weren't aware of it. We are indeed in garbage time. So this. Here's my Solitude. There goes your Spellskite. Green, red, play Ren and 6. Plus on a land. Prismatic Ending, your dude that can attack me. So now your dude can't attack me. Should I stop Prismatic Prismaticing all my opponent's stuff just for fun? I kind of want to do that. Next turn, we're just going to Prismatic Ending all of their shit. Just because I feel like it. My opponent says money wins again. Yeah, indeed. Indeed, money wins again. See you next round. All right, round number 2. On the play. I think on the draw I may be a little bit greedier and keep this, but on the play. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. As I was saying, every time I play this deck, I always felt like it's missing a land at least. Okay, so this is nice though. So bottom, bottom, done. Maybe I should have kept the. Maybe I should have kept the Kid Twitch round so I can play it on 1. Joe Fire Dragon, thank you for the follow. Ugh. So I took a point. Alright, can we undo the mulligan? Gonna go fetch Rogging Triumph because if I find Prismatic Ending, I can kill this Gobbo. So smart. So opponent knows about this fetch land, so I'm gonna play that one. What's the blue-red card? It's Fire Ice, I assume, or this. You mean Expressive Iteration? This is a new card. Oh, that's right. You're back in the game after a while. Things are a little bit different now. Some things have changed. I think it's fair to say that some things have changed. And one of them is there's some really, really busted cards right now. There are some real busted cards that have been printed. Lightning Helix your face, that's fine. I think I'm just gonna plus the fairy here and say go. Gives me more options for next turn. because I don't know what I'm gonna be finding off of Triumph, off of Iteration, sorry. That's scary. That's very scary. So I think we're gonna minus first because I'm trying to dig for Omnath really. So another iteration. So counter spells goes to hand. That goes to the. Ugh. And I can't play this iteration. Just digging for Omnath here, really. Actually, that doesn't work. Never mind, because like my island is actually in play. So I am just dead here, I think. Yeah. Do I have to hold on to this? I think so. Man, the 1 point keeping a fetch instead of keeping the Triumph. I mean, we're probably dead here anyways, but I guess I could have beaten that one. No, I couldn't. Never mind. Okay, so Sunset Reverie is good. Celestial Purge is good. Ren is not so good, actually. I think I care for Chalices. I do like Force. And I don't care for Verdicts. Yeah. This, I think, is good. I think the Chalice against Burn, it's a little bit awkward. Can be a little bit of a double-edged sword because the Burn player actually has a bunch of 2 or 3 mana spells. Okay, when I keep this, the Temple Garden is haunting me. Stupid Temple Garden is just haunting me. Let's play that tapped Seiko. Pass the turn. Gonna take some bolts to the face. Let's get a Kitri Triumph here. Definitely gotta find the second blue source here. So Kitri Triumph. And tap. Red, blue. I think I want Counterspell. Mark Naswell, thank you for the follow. I think so. I think that's close. But I think in the end I'd rather have Counterspell. Just realized you didn't follow. Well, thank you for that. Okay, let's see what my opponent's got over there. Bolt your face. Play that tapped, say go. So next turn we're gonna be able to Teferi, and the goal here is gonna be Teferi with Counterspell backup. Teferi with Counterspell backup, and then on the next end step, white, blue, something. On the next end step, we're going to Solitude, and then we're going to try to attack at least once with the Solitude. Skullcrack. So if my opponent has 2 shocks here, we're in trouble. Maybe we won't have enough time. Playing myself for 14 years, got myself a 6-piece Yamaha with 9-piece Sabian symbols with cowbell, nice. I'm gonna try to find Omnath here. No Omnath. Alright, so we're gonna go Kahira into play Kahira. And then I can Solitude my own Kahira to gain 3, because I'm not gonna have enough time to actually attack with this Solitude, so we're gonna need to find another Solitude. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, you know? I could have also just played Fury instead of getting the Kahira, but what Fury does is if my opponent plays an Eidolon, we actually, you know, just get him. Do I just have to wait, hope that my opponent whiffs here? How do I win? Let's say that I just go Fury and then I make the same play again. I guess I can just stop deck exactly Omnath, right? Or like cantrip into Omnath. So we also have the Fairy. So I guess that means that I'm probably supposed to do this. So red, red. Just trying to buy myself as much time as I can. Because they're gonna draw with Sunbay Canyon, right? Like if they didn't draw with Sunbay Canyon, I could just kind of hope to dodge one turn. Searing Blaze. Why do they still have Searing Blaze in their deck? I have no idea. All right, Omnath, baby. It's Omnath time. Oh, damn it. I had to pitch the prismatic ending. No. All right, we wouldn't have gotten there anyway. Too late. Too late. So I guess I should have had the iteration instead of keeping the counter spell. It's close though, right? Like it makes you think, but I think that having the counter spell was more important. But maybe I should have just like my plan is always to play Omnath and just hope that I win from there, which should be fairly easily. So yeah, maybe I should have done that. Anyway, see you next round. Alrighty, keep this. So I think I want to go turn 1 Strand into White Triumph, into Jeskai Triumph. Okay. Give me that prismatic ending, baby. Give me that prismatic ending, baby. Ending. Play that, say go. Gonna iteration next turn. So my opponent's playing the bad version of Merfolk, which plays Mutavolts, which is good for me. Instead of the version with subtleties and stuff. That doesn't do anything at all. Just gonna get Sacred Foundry here. I guess it did actually do something. It did actually do something. Tide Shaper. Okay. It's kind of annoying. So blue. I'm probably gonna just play Iteration next turn, I think. Mono Spreading Seas. They should have probably left Immutable up. So red, green. It's kind of awkward. Solitude, bottom, this pass. Kind of awkward that the land that we did find was Steam Vents there. So we are 2 white sources away from casting this Solitude. Jeez. Okay, so I guess we have to kill that one. It really matters which one we kill. Oh, Moto actually tells you. That's pretty sick. Moto actually tells you which one is affecting the card. That's cool. That's a plane. So blue, red, green. Yeah, so this a little bit awkward, but we have to do this. So kill that one. Went into GP Vancouver years ago. I actually met the dude. Okay. Wow, that seems really bad. Got banned from playing events that was playing the Summer Bloom deck. Oh yeah? Yeah. That guy sucked. Gave all of us Amulet players a bad reputation. Suspend is so bad, man. Ugh. Okay, so they swing for 3, which is fine. Good to the finals, knew you couldn't cheat and just crapped out. Yeah. Steven Speck. Yeah. Know the motherfucker's name all too well. So we're gonna go fetch Hallowed Fountain here. And we can just hardcast this Solitude. That's in the private seating section, and he just went off about his deck is so good. Well, to be fair, his deck was good. Turns out that he was also cheating, but you know, to be fair, his deck was actually good. Well, this is what we call the blowout. Show me that subtlety, opponent. Show me that subtlety. Subtlety or bust. This is the only card that matters right here. Do you have it? Opponent does not have it. Maybe shouldn't have block there. I'm not too sure, actually. Well, we're flooding a little bit here, which is not ideal. Wasn't good though. He had the more aggro combo version with Simeon because he was better. His naturals that he pumped. I mean that was the stock list at the time. That was the stock list at the time. Then the more that Amulet players started to play the deck and understand it and stuff, things started to develop and take a different shape, right? Like, and that's when Sam Black and Justin Cohen figure out the Hornet Queen tech, which was actually pretty good. But at the time, the deck was that. That's just the way that it was built. It took a really, really long time for Amulet to become a deck. Keep that one. I think I'm gonna bounce. Which one is? Oh, they didn't pay the kicker. So I think that what I have to do is actually have to bounce the non. I also tapped wrong here, but I have to bounce the non. Well, that's game. That's right. We have Fury in the deck. And that's why Merfolk is not playable. In case you were wondering, why is Merfolk not playable? That's why. Took like 2 years until it got very good. Yeah, because it was kind of like a meme deck for the longest time. I mean, I guess meme deck is not a way to describe it. It's like what's the word? It was just a deck that people did not take seriously. Do we have any more fetchable? I think we're out. We have one stomping ground. We have one stomping ground. Force of negation doesn't really do anything. Play that. I mean, they don't have lethal. Do we attack with Omnath here? I think I just attack with Fury. We swing for 6. Attacking with Omnath represents a 2-turn clock, but we know that my opponent has at least one more blocker. So, but by leaving the Omnath back, my opponent cannot attack with the Lord. Unless they have another Lord, which they could. That is not a Lord. Also, they tapped that for whatever reason. Wait, what? Did they not realize that Ren is about to ultimate and I have Prismatic Ending in my graveyard? Yikes. And they can't counterspell. Prismatic Ending. That guy. Ward? Yes, I'll pay the ward cost. I guess we can do this at instant speed, actually. Game 4. These don't have anything to fetch. So I'd rather just have this. And I'm going to spend this turn just, you know, ending my opponent's board. And I can do that at instant speed. This is gonna be nice. Point activates Mutable, makes Sviolon indestructible. With Prismatic Ending to dude. Indestructible, you say? Uh-oh. More dead than indestructible. Pass the turn. They should have attacked the Ren there. Infinite Prismatic Endings are gonna be really hard for my opponent to beat. Let's think of iteration. May play the Excite card this turn. Kinda, I'm getting some garbage time feels at this point. Counterspell to hand. Exile. Red, green. Plus on, I guess, any land, doesn't matter. We're chilling at 18. Attack. Nah. Being able to use counterspell is pretty nice there. Beginning of combat, ending the Sviolon. Yeah, the game's been over for a while, but my opponent is a fighter. My opponent is a heck of a fighter. The game has been over for a very long time, actually. At least 2 or 3 turns. I mean, the turn that they allowed me to ultimate Rain and 6, that's when... That's where we reached the no turning back point. Oh, we killed them with a ping. That's hilarious. We actually do kill them with a ping. Sure. Ending my run first. Just the alpha move. Just the alpha move. Okay, so these suck. These probably also suck. Dispute is a little bit more interesting. Can allow me to win counter wars. Force of Vigor is kind of interesting. There's no way though, right? The problem is I just don't have enough cards. So I will have to play suboptimal cards just because of lack of better options. Like endurance blocks. We didn't see any caverns for what's worth. I guess forces? Just like a 1 of endurance. Endurance is very good. Yeah, I mean, it's very good if your opponent doesn't have the unblockable dudes, right? And even then, I wouldn't say that it's very good. I would say that it's okay. It lines up reasonably well against their creatures. But it's not anything to, you know, call home about, you know? It's okay. Just a fine card that you're not super embarrassed to play, but you're also not excited to play either. keep. Sacred Foundry ending. Pretty wild how the spreading seas almost got me, right? That was actually pretty interesting. Sure. Adept, naming Adept. Ren? Verdict. Okay. So I'm gonna just cycle Sandbar here. Next turn we can iteration. Like, I don't think that this is good enough for me to play out. I'm gonna take 2 here. Gonna counterspell my iteration. No. Ooh. Okay, this is fine. I didn't want to do that. Like, that was actually a misclick, but it's fine. Like, I actually rather have the Teferi than the Endurance. It's a Trickster. Prismatic Ending was a big deal. If my opponent had access to Vial, we would be in a lot more pressure right now. Would be under a lot more pressure, I should say. Rogaine Triumph. White, blue, 1. So if they have a, I guess if they have Trickster, they can't have, even if they have Trickster into a dude, it's fine. So they have Counterspell. I'm gonna take 4 here. I'm just gonna tap on Wrath. And then we have Solitude for the Mutavault. One has been playing it super slowly, which is very smart of them. No, so Counterspell doesn't affect the board. I want to be playing cards that affect the board, and Counterspell doesn't. So that's my problem with Counterspell. Omnath into fetch. White, red, green, blue. Can we find a fetch here? Fetch land? So I'll take that. And yeah, I'll ending. Killing a 2/2 is probably fine. Solitude is just such a beating for my opponent's deck. Got a Lord. Now what are they gonna do now? Just like fire off the Mutavault? They can't. They just can't do that. And I know that they have Counterspell here. They don't? Jeez. If they don't have Counterspell, why did they not fire off the Mutavault? Kind of doesn't make any sense. Sviolon, okay. Well, I mean, they're just gonna Teferi bounce that, time walk them. Yeah, this game's just super over. Time walk. Yeah, that's pretty good. I guess I don't want to attack just yet. Trickster. It's fine. You got me. I think this is fine. If I had another white card, not as valuable as Solitude, I would probably protect the Teferi there. But Solitude is just so nuts, right? Do I play EDH or just mostly modern? I play mostly modern, but I do like and I do enjoy Legacy a lot. I do enjoy, my second favorite format is actually pre-modern. So I do like pre-modern a lot. Ugh. Well, that plays around my dispute. I guess it's fine. Yeah, pre-modern is incredible. Pre-modern is absolutely incredible. Super fun format. So I'm playing Kahira here instead of Solitude because if my opponent wants to block, they are trading. And I think even if they counterspell here, I am going to... I think I'm going to protect this Kahira here. I'm cashing in this Mystical Dispute. Used to play Legacy, I play White-Red Painter. Painter is actually pretty good right now in Legacy for what I hear. But I think it's like Mono-Red Painter, like... It's a different version of Painter. Even if they draw a card with Sviolon here, it's still very good. We're still in very good shape here. Maybe Buck Delver players scoop on turn 0. Cast Blood Moon on them and they went to Force of Will and Pitch Simeon and Pearl wasn't nice. That's fantastic. So sure. That's whatever. So they're gonna make their dude indestructible, but that's fine. Like they're just dying on the crackback. They're literally just dying on the crackback, so this looks perfectly fine to me. Here's an endurance. Nah. I really think they should have counterspelled the Kahira, honestly. Like if they did have the counter, like countering the Kahira was, that's the biggest deal card that we had. Awkward. Awkward. If they block here, they take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's still lethal. Block here, 4, 8, 11. Yeah, still lethal. Sweet. I don't know about the folk. I think that there was a list that did well in a recent event. Like it got second place in a showcase, I think. But the good thing about that deck is that it wasn't playing the bad Merfolk cards. It was just playing the good cards. So it was playing like a bunch of Sviolons, it was playing subtleties, like it was playing Archmage's Charm. So it was actually a deck built. It was a mono blue control deck that just happened to kill you with Merfolks. Or like Merfolk-ish cards. So I think that's a good way of building Merfolk. I don't think that just going for like the usual Merfolk thing is where you want to be anymore. I think that those deck lists are just not good. And play Mutavault alongside Archmage's Charm can't really do that. But see you next round. Okay. So I think we're playing against Yawgmoth because we recently played against this player. Is this hand good enough against Yawgmoth? I hope that it is. So yeah, Mark, you should definitely look into it. I also have a video that I made where I explained all of this stuff. I can look it up for you a little bit later if you want. It's gonna be Hallowed Fountain into Prismatic Ending. I think that I'm just using my mana efficiently here, making sure that I can stay even on board, so then I can start to use counter spells to try to get ahead. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Essence Warden. I don't think I'm countering this. I am definitely countering this one. So, Steam Vents, yes. Just trying to use my mana here. Getting kind of beaten down though, so I have to be careful. Play Triumph, say go. So I'm taking 3. Really need to find an Omnath to help me stabilize. If I find an Omnath, I think I'm gonna win. But this Geist may be able to race me. Well, them skipping their combat phase there is a really big deal. That 3 life is probably going to matter. Blue, red, and I'm trying to iteration with. Can't even pitch Solitude. So put that in hand, put that in the bottom, exile, play this, say go. Yeah, this is Yawgmoth. Another Yawg. Okay. We don't have green mana here, which is a little bit awkward, but I don't think I can just take damage willy-nilly here. Blue, red, play this. Okay, so it's kind of awkward. So hand. Bottom exile. Play that out. Pass the turn. So we're gonna go down to 3. Counter my opponent if they play anything. And then we can Solitude the Geist and finally stabilize. I don't think bouncing Geist is a good play. Because then the Jace dies. I think it's better for me to try to stabilize this board state. Yeah, this is, you know, what I was saying, and the 3 damage ended up really mattering here. So now I'm gonna wait until my opponent attacks. Play that. So you go. Gonna wait until they attack. See how they attack. Only with the Geist. So I'm gonna exile that. If they have Yogg, it's kind of bad for me. But they whiffed. I'm really tempted to just use Kahira and just use Solitude, but I don't think I can do that. I think I need to find answers. So let's do this and start brainstorming. Bingo, that's exactly what I needed. So put that on the bottom, on the, yeah, put that on top, put that on top, play that. And we probably want to ending something. Generally, I can just, let's just go Kahira here. And I'm gonna be attacking. I'm exposing the Jace to die to an Ignoble Hierarch. But if that's what they draw, then that's just great for me. So, not too upset about that. This should be game now. So top, 1, 2. Gotta make sure that we leave these for Ren. So 1, 2, white, red. Play this, draw the thingy. Red, green, red and 6, plus, find this, play land, take over. Whew! Alright. That was lucky. Purge, pretty good. Endurances, not great, but alright, just playable. I don't think I want forces. And I don't think I want Tefts. They're gonna have Veil now, so we kind of have to be careful with that, but I think this is good. Okay, so if we have 2 turns to get a land and we can interact thanks to Solitude, I think I'm gonna keep this hand. We may get punished. We may get punished for this. We may get, if we find any land that can cast a rain onto, I think we're gonna win. Any land? Ugh. Ugh. What's gonna happen? Giraffe Messenger. That's fine, I think. We can Solitude that land. Woof! Easy land. So I think we're gonna go blue-red here. Oh, I can't find Steam Van, so never mind. We're gonna find white-red then. And I'm gonna go Ren minus on the birdie. And this Solitude is gonna exile the messenger. Pitching I don't want to pitch either card, but I think I'm going to pitch the Verdict. Yeah, don't even say it, Agony. I could have definitely found the stupid island. It's just way too important to make sure that our run survives, right? Just way too important. Also, getting to exile the Giraffe Messenger is kind of good value. So in a way, it's almost like a 2-for-2, right? It's basically a 2-for-2. We're gonna get Endurance here. Sickness. Remember when I wanted to get Steam Vents last turn? Remember when I really wanted to get Steam Vents last turn? Ugh, devastating. That's a Seiko Endurance right there. Speaking of island. Just gonna pass the turn here. Mana Leak confirmed better than Counterspell. Yeah, we're just stating facts, right? You're 100% right. I can Yabimaya this guy into play. Love this. Fuck you, Dried Arbor. You're not the only one who's got endurance over there, opponent. Sure, you also have a Yawgmoth. Also have a Yawgmoth. Whatever. Yeah, not this not drawing lands thing, not working out great. No, I'm not gonna ping the bird. I think holding up counterspell is more important. My opponent can just go infinite from here, right? Also, if I ping the bird, my opponent just sacks it and they draw a card. I think I'm blocking here because that forces my opponent to sack the bird if they want to kill the endurance, which I think it's fine. Like, it limits their mana. So I think this is okay. But now if I draw a white source, we're actually looking really good. Evolution into Grist. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yep. I usually watch reviews on YouTube. I'm in the future right now. Yes, this deck looks cheap, nice budget deck. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to play on a budget. Prismatic Ending's not the worst. Like, if I'm gonna, draw bad cards, that's a good one to draw. Because, like, we need a white source here, right? We need to be able to Wrath and start over. Ugh, yeah, that's really bad. So now they're gonna get to draw a bunch of cards. And they should just attack right now to play around Solitude, I think. No, they're just gonna go infinite. We can't die here. So my opponent can draw a bunch of cards, but we're not dead. We're probably too far behind at this point. We've missed too many land drops, I think. I guess now we actually are dead. Yeah, now we actually are dead because we wrath, but my opponent just keeps their geists and they kill me with them, so. Yeah, that was pretty rough. It took us just like a little bit too long to find that land. This is fine though. I'm considering Sunset Revelry over the Teferis. Not sure if Endurance is very good. This is not the worst though. Yeah, the Descent's very good. Keep it. Hitting land drops is OP. That's also fairly OP. Pass the turn. Man, if only I had found a Wren there, huh? Just imagine if I had found a Wren. I imagine this is gonna go. I feel like playing Magic. Just made a Colossus Karn Titan deck that I need to test more. 7-0 so far. Nice. Opponent says KK. I know what that means. I imagine they think this is a pretty good hand. I mean, this is a pretty good hand, so. I think Fury is the best card in this hand, though. Against my opponent's specific deck. Solitude is what they go for. Okay. Okay. Let's get a Triumph into play. Untap. I think we're just gonna Teferi bounce Hierarch here. I think it's what slows my opponent down the most. The only awkward thing about getting the planes there is now if I find counterspell, I can't hold it up. Yeah, Teferi's gone. It's no big deal. The funny thing is that they kind of know that they can't deploy too much into what I got going on. Blue. I think I'm gonna Jace, yeah. And I really wanted to find a white card there. Really wanted to find a white card there. Was unable to. So this Jace is gonna die now because they're just gonna attack with Geist. So that being said, do I just not want to Fury? I guess I have to Fury though. Just don't kill the Geist. Well, this is gonna be a 2-2, right? This is also coming back. So I have to kill everything, actually. Because if I kill everything, if my opponent goes land Yawgmoth, they can't go infinite. Because they don't have enough creatures. So I have to, if I'm gonna Fury, I have to kill everything. And I think I should Fury. So this is actually a pretty good exchange for my opponent. But I think it's a necessary exchange for me. Now they can go 2 to face. I mean, they know about the Solitude, so maybe they just have to send both at Jace. We know there's a counterspell on top. We know there's a iteration into counterspell on top. That's very cool. So my opponent's playing around Solitude by Cording here, which actually works out pretty well for us overall. It actually works out pretty well for us. But my opponent, like, that was actually very smart of them. I feel like that is that was a good play from them. Now the question is, do I want to kill the guys now? No, I don't, because I have the sandbar in hand. So if my opponent goes land Yawgmoth, I can just cycle into the Yawg and counterspell it. Cycle into the land and counterspell it. Kind of awkward in the face of Cord, but sort of figuring out here. That's very nice. So, Verdict to hand. That on top, and this on exile. With my opponent not attacking there, I'm fairly sure that they have Cord in hand. And now we're going to be able to Wrath into Cord. Sure, we're taking 6 here, down to 8. Which is not ideal, but... yeah, so they still have Cord up, you see? And they can +1. So my opponent 100% has Cord over there. Let's get a tapped blue source. Ren is... So Verdict, blue, white, white. I guess let's just... we can fetch for a forest here. White, white, yeah. Fetch for basic forest. 2, 3, 4. Verdict. Now they Cord and I counter the Cord. I just realized that my opponent has GB Maya, so I have no idea why I fetched. No idea why I fetched, since my opponent has GB Maya. Yeah, I know. I totally, that was just like, wait, what? Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just out here paying life for no reason. Just out here paying life for no reason. Code and respect to you is such a good... thank you, Agony. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm fairly comfortable playing control decks. I actually enjoy them a lot. Kind of die into the Grist Ultimate, funny enough. think we're just gonna hardcast this Solitude here. Because I don't want my opponent to be able to draw another card. Are there any cards on this list that I would change or don't like? I think this deck list is pretty good, to be honest. And I don't have enough experience to know. I kind of want one more land. That's the only thing that I kind of always felt about this kind of deck. Dungeon Master, thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. But yeah. So I imagine they're gonna kill the Wrenn. They kill the Solitude. Okay. That's a good draw. That's a good draw. That's what we want to see. Plus on fetch. Play fetch, gain life, fetch once. Dude, Omnath is so unreasonable. Like it's just fucking a reasonable card, honestly. Why does it need to hit Planeswalkers too? That's the part that I don't get it. Why does it need to hit Planeswalkers? For real. This hitting Planeswalkers is just outrageous. That's what we call a big swing. That turn that we just experienced is what we call a big swing. Yo, Jesus, how's it going? Yeah. Thanksgiving stream. We're about to wrap it up. We have one more match to go. We're about to be 3-1. My opponent says, game 1, did you have this Solitude if I attack? I'm like, I don't remember. But you can find on YouTube. Oh yeah, this is everything just worked out perfectly. The thing is that usually you're close, you know, game's close, you're trying to stabilize, and then Omnath comes down. Omnath comes down and it just goes so over the top of everything. Because usually before Omnath comes down, you have a lot of stuff to do, but you don't have the mana. And then Omnath comes down and it's like, here you go. Here's all the mana in the world just for you. Enjoy it. And boy, did we enjoy it. See you for the last round. All right, last match of the day. No companion, no land. Ship it. So I think I'm keeping this one. Bottom in the redundant Tef. We can't Wrenn on 2, and even if we did, we don't have a fetch. But we can iteration into a fetch land on turn 3, and we have some nice interaction. We have some good spells, so I think this is a fine keep. What are we up against? Seachrome Coast into Mausoleum Wanderer. That is a card. So I'm gonna have to deal with this guy anyway eventually, so I really need for it to not counter my expressive iteration, so I think it's good to do that. I know that there's a possibility that I can just, you know, find a green source and cast my Ram, but if that counters my iteration on 2, the chances of me finding a fetch are a lot lower, so yep, good thing. Good thing that I did that. Devastating. Absolutely devastating. Okay, so ending to the bottom and exile Solitude. So Solitude, I think I'm pitching Teferi here because I'm gonna be able to double spell with this ending. and I'm able to just keep the board clear. So I'm not super stoked about this. Like, right, we really need to hit a land drop there. But by doing this, I am delaying my opponent killing me. So, like, with the Solitude, either the Solitude or the Prismatic Ending being exiled eventually, I'd rather just make the most of it and get, cash in the Solitude and slow my opponent's clock significantly. And by significantly, I mean entirely. Cavern of Souls. It was nice knowing you. I hate you, Spell Queller. Having hit the land drop, I think I can afford to just pass the turn here. If my opponent wants to like waste the Spell Queller, I'm kind of into it. So, the most obvious Spell Queller of all time. If they had played Rattle Chains instead of Spell Queller, that would have been a lot worse, honestly. No, I don't want to put Kahir in hand because I would have to fetch Shock because I do need the second blue. Like, this allows me to hold up Counterspell, which I'm kind of not counterspelling anything really, but so let's go blue, red. Do I want an iteration, like, or do I want a Ren? I think I want a Ren, actually. So let's Ren. My opponent's going to play another one of these dudes. And then we can Solitude. I guess it was better for me to go for Expressive Iteration, huh? Well, I was not expecting that one. I was not expecting that one. Yikes. Well, the good thing is that they did that on a Subtlety, on a Ren, as opposed to doing that on a Solitude. So it's about the small things, you know? Opponent is out of cards. I think I want to kill this thing. This means I don't get to Prismatic Ending. No, I think I have to Prismatic Ending. So we're going to start the turn by Iteration. Blue, blue, red. They can sack both Wanderers if they want to counter this. And I didn't play the land on purpose because I kind of want them to sack both Wanderers to counter this. Yeah, this is great for me. This is quite good for me because this really slows down their clock. And now they're down to 2 cards. So we're taking 7 this turn. Maybe we can't afford to take 7. 7 down to 5. No, I think we have to. Because I want to use Kahira. Find the land. Ugh. That sucks. That super sucks. I guess. If they have anything, I'm dead. So we're going to Solitude this. This is gonna go, and I guess this is gonna go. Play land. Pass. And I'm gonna upkeep, kill the Solitude. The subtlety, sorry. This is so my opponent can't draw another subtlety. If they have a lord, obviously I lose. So maybe they'll go face here. They do go face. Okay, so if they have an answer to my Yawgmoth, we are in bad shape. Ah, that's devastating. Because we know that we're drawing the fairy, so we're not going to be able to gain the life. And there's a counterspell under this Teferi. Mr. Fahrenheit, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'm dead now. Man, that Skyclip operation was brutal. Gonna commit Honorable Seppuku over here. And get these disgusting counterspells out of my deck, please. Endurance looks very good. Force of Negation looks worthless. Sunset Revelry, I guess. And I guess Mystical Dispute. Like, I'm not stoked about any of these cards. Why did you play land last turn? Because I wasn't thinking about Apparition. And if I'm doing that, then I can gain more life. Like if I find any normal land, I can gain even more life with Yawgmoth on the following turn. I can gain 3 more life. So it seemed correct for me to play the land there. But obviously, like, Apparition is a card. Like, I honestly forgot that Apparition existed. Like, I have not seen an Skyclip Apparition in a really long time, so... Seems like you're always taking out the counters. I mean... That's not true. And second of all, like, I'm playing against a Cavern of Souls deck, right? You're just looking at 5 matches, right? You're just looking at 5 matches that we're playing, and we got paired against multiple Cavern of Souls decks. Like, it's bound to happen. Or decks that are very aggressively playing to the board. So... What would you just flat out replace counterspells with? Nothing. I think counterspell is great. Ever thought of Cryptic Command? Cryptic Command is not playable anymore, Mark. Times have changed. You knew the top because of Jace, there wasn't a land there, right? Well, I didn't know that the Jace was gonna die, Hudson. I didn't... If my opponent attacks the Jace to kill it, then I do get to fetch. And if they don't... Like, I wasn't expecting my opponent to have a way to kill the Jace that didn't... To attack me and also get rid of the Jace. Again, I forgot that Skyclip Operation existed. Obviously, I'm going to play around it this game. And I'm going to keep this hand too. Hate the fetch pattern around counterspell. What do you mean? See that to Progenitor Mimic and Eternal Witness? Yeah, I don't prefer Progenitor Mimic, but Eternal Witness does see some play. It's displaying the 4-color Yorion decks. And it's pretty solid there. Prismatic Ending one time? Prismatic Ending one time? Ugh. Never lucky. Never ever lucky. You love to see the Moorland Hunt draws. So at least we're gonna get to play the Yawgmoth before my opponent's Vial gets to go on 4, which is nice. On 3, sorry. Putting here in hand, that's a clean pitch to Solitude, which is also pretty nice. This is just going to be an Elementals versus Spirits kind of matchup. Trying to give up the ability to play ending, Ren, or a counterspell in the first 3-4 turns is a pain in the ass. Yeah. Te subo el mate. No, no, estamos bien. Kira is kind of beating. Green, white, red, blue. Let's actually get island, blue, white, green, red. Rattle chains. Opponent under 2 cards in hand. Dude, like, Kira owns Fury so bad. Oh my god! Jeez. So I have 9 mana here. Well, I guess Wrath or Bust, huh? Because I'm not racing that. Well, am I racing that? Play Kahira. 3, 6, this is 10, 14. I'm attacking here. I doubt my opponent wants to trade. So we do that first. Then my opponent attacks for 14. I'm gonna be at 14 here. And then I'm gonna be able to raise them thanks to Solitude. So if my opponent has nothing, we may be able to raise them. So they need to have absolutely nothing. But I can gain 11 life a turn. 7 from Omnath plus 4 from Solitude. But they have to have nothing, though. If they have anything whatsoever, we're gonna die. Unless I miscounted. I guess I can technically find Verdict here. That's an ending. So we play Kahira, swing for 9, gain 4 up to 7, gain 4 more up to 11, and we die exactly. Are we really about to die 2 Xaxes? I think we just died 2 Xaxes. Does that mean that I just have to Wrath? I can't block with Omnath. They all fly. So I can play Kahira, attack with both. We gain 4 up to 7. Play land up to 11. On my opponent's turn, I fetch and I die to Xaxes. Yeah, so my only out is to iteration into Supreme Verdict. Yeah, my only out is iteration into Supreme Verdict. So we need to fetch shock. I guess we don't need to fetch shock. So we got iteration into Verdict here. It's the only play. It's the only play. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, I'm an idiot. I had to shock. Oh no. I had to shock, because shock would have allowed me to iteration again. I cannot kill one thing. They have hexproof. Both of them have hexproof. They give each other hexproof. I can't kill anything. But I had 3 more looks and I fucked it up because I didn't shock there. I didn't think about the fact that I could iteration into iteration. So I'm gonna concede the game and I'm gonna look 3 cards deep and I'm gonna feel very, very sad if there was a verdict in those 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. That would have actually been able to block, but yeah, that would have actually been able to block. Yeah. That was wild. That was super wild. All right. Talk about the deck a little bit. This deck is very good. I like this deck a lot. I think is super powerful. I still think that there are a couple of things that we're gonna need to continue to tune. I like the addition of the extra Furies. Fury is just very, very good in the metagame right now, so I'm not surprised to see extra copies of Furies being played here. But I do feel like we need one more land. We mulligan multiple hands with lands that, like, not enough lands, or simply just like an awkward amount of lands, like, you know, Hallowed Fountain, fetch land into Renin 6, you know, like that kind of hand you can't really keep. So a lot of people, I think that, you know, it's just like, oh yeah, you're playing 28 lands, but you're only 24 lands, but you're only playing, but you're also playing 4 Renin 6s, so you're fine. And I don't think that's quite the case, because, like, your lands are awkward. Like, you have to play basics, because Blood Moon is a very real card, and you need to be playing, Island and Basic Plains, and, like, Renin 6 doesn't get cast by those cards. So, you're also playing Lonely Sandbar, which you can't really, you know, cast Renin 6, and it's also just, like, a terrible land. So, one of the things that I wonder is, like, can you really afford to play the Lonely Sandbar? I think that it's possible that you just can't. And, like, this should just be another fetch land or another fetchable source that allows you to cast your spells. So that's one thing that I always wondered. You can also just add 1 more land, go up to 25, and have a Lonely Sandbar as your 25th land. I think maybe that could be okay. But the rest of the deck is just very, very good. Like, the spell suite can change. Like, if you think there's more creatures, you can play more verdicts, more furies stuff. If you feel like there's more combo decks and whatnot, which we may see an uptick, because a lot of people are playing this kind of deck and the 4-color Urine decks, and the problem with those decks is that you can get under them if you're playing a combo deck, and you can kill them. That's why we've seen a resurgence of Belcher as an archetype. So if you do expect to see more Belchers and stuff like that, then you may want like a different counterspell suite and stuff like that. So you're gonna have to choose your poison. You have to choose what you want to beat and what you want to be beaten by. But overall, and considering the metagame, this feels to me like a very good challenge kind of deck. Like if you're trying to play in a challenge where everybody's going to be playing tier 1, you're going to be seeing a bunch of Lurid Murktide, you're going to be seeing a bunch of Hammer and stuff like that. I think this deck is going to be fantastic, and you can kind of make adaptations accordingly. But at the same time, if you're trying to play in leagues where you can find, you can fight all the most random things, maybe this deck may not be as well positioned. And the same thing goes for like blue-white and almost any control deck, really. But this deck is very good. I do think that this deck is absolutely great, and a deck that I would expect to see top 8 in events, and that I would certainly recommend to anybody that's interested in this style of gameplay. So, not very surprised by this deck making it to the top 8 of Vegas. That's gonna be it for this video though. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video, folks. Take care. Bye bye.